Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it.
Welcome to the Ballology app Ultimate Demo. Trusted by leaders in the game. Ballology is a player development platform built for coaches and players alike. You can expect live shot tracking, workout libraries, and AI insights. You can easily chart team shooting drills in practice or in training sessions. Track all of those shots using an iPhone or an Android device in real time. You can view your team's performance through a video archive or by using our shot charts. After every shooting workout, take a look at your breakdown by viewing your percentages and your shot locations. Let's take a deeper look to learn how to make the most out of the Ballology app. Let's see how you measure up in the Ballology Skills Assessment, where you can test your shooting skills versus other shooters worldwide. Navigate to Ballology AI, where you can ask any question to get answers in real time for smarter training.
Make that footwork a little more sharp.
Coaches or players can create custom workouts in just minutes. Hit your on-court skills or basketball IQ or even strength and conditioning. It can be done on the Ballology app. Compete with everything you do on the Ballology app through our workout leaderboards. Elevate your game with the Ballology app. Download it for free today.
You nailed it with the culture piece. It's not instant. And it's going to take a lot of time, and it's not just something that you say or a good slogan on the wall or on a T-shirt. It's what you do every day.
It's a learned response. Like it's a learned response. We talk about that a ton with. I'm a defensive guy. That's just what I've been about. And like defense is a learned response, like responding to some sort of like cue on the court. And I mean, we say that with culture too. Like it's a learned response, like how you deal with adversity or how you do anything. But it takes years. And it's not bad, but it stinks to say because it's just like me and you two like just started. It's like we got a while.
How do you fight that? How do you fight that feeling of like, man, I feel like it should be better now. Like I feel like we're moving and doing some good things. And it's kind of funny when you're in this position of, for years, I've been telling kids about delayed gratification and the process and how long does it take, coach, for me to become a better shooter? I don't know. It takes what it takes. Like you keep putting in the time. And here I find myself like, hey, it's week 7, week 8. We should be training faster. We should be celebrating more. We should be having more fun. But then it takes what it takes, I guess.
I don't know. If you figure it out, you have to tell me.
That's right.
I mean, I guess just kind of going back to like, I try to go back to like some core standards and stuff, like have something written down that I can go back and look at to just remind me. We actually did something. I'm not big on like the team building in terms of like doing activities and stuff like that. Like I'm a big fan of like, let's get the guys together and do some really hard stuff like conditioning and weights and stuff. And like, let's just get them in the same room as much as we possibly can and like let them figure it out. I'm not as big on like the doing organized stuff, but we did something this year and it's helped me a little bit in terms of like we had everybody come up with a word that was going to be like their word for the year. It was something I took from
John Gordon.
Yeah, You Win the Locker Room First is the book.
Yep.
Him and the old Falcons coach, I forgot his name.
About that.
But wicked good book. And in that they talked about it. And just a word that could like bring you back to what you were thinking about for the season. And, whether it's consistency or a guy putting nails because he wants to be tough as nails or something like that. And so that's helped me a little bit in terms of what am I going to go back to and be about. Shoot, I got them printed out. Like put them up somewhere so you can see them. But like,
so you got their words printed out,
no,
and you're going to put them up somewhere.
We put their words up outside our locker room. We got their words up.
Nice.
These are mine. These are for me. And so I gotta get these up on like the wall or something like that over here so I can see them. But I guess that's my strategy for this year, to try to like come back to those words or sayings or something like that to to remind me. And then the good thing for me, and probably for you too, is like I do have my recent success at my last place to kind of look at to see like, hey, like it works. Like but you got to build it. Like it works, but you can't. You can't skip stairs. Like you can't skip steps.
It's a great point, and I think you're talking about, like, the way we want our players to maintain and keep their confidence. I think we have to do this in this transition time, is remind ourselves of the good things we've done, the success with players, the coaching paychecks that we've had, which is the text from a player 5 or 6 years later saying, "Man, I get it now. Thank you for what you said and did, even though I didn't look like I was in it at that time." We gotta be reminding ourselves of it. And I'm hope coach, I want you to know, and I hope everybody listen, it's not going poorly. I'm enjoying the process here. Things are good, but I have been feeling that, and even from the summer of, oh wow, for the first time in 12 years, there's nothing in place. And starting over is a fun challenge, but it's different than I thought it was going to be. And I love that. I think the words that you're talking about and those reminders, man, we probably got to have those on the mirror by our, in our bathroom, like Rocky, and just for be reminding ourselves every day.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. Like I think same thing for us. Like it's going really well. And it's just like you're rebuilding a program and starting from scratch, you almost feel like there should be like some shortcuts you can take of like, hey, like we already did this once. Like, could we teach this a different way or implement this? And we're better at it. Like our stuff, like our standards, like whether it be our academic stuff or how we're doing conditioning, we are better at implementing it than we were at our last place. But what we found is like it's not going any faster. Like we're better at implementing it in terms of there's less like hiccups or less whatever, but it's still going to take just as long. I mean, I don't remember who said it to me when I first got the job at Ozarks where I was. They told me like, hey, it won't be yours for like 2 or 3 years. Like it won't be like yours. And I didn't understand it until I did it, and it was like, it's true. Like it wasn't really mine until like 3 years in, and it's like, all right, now everybody who's here has heard the same recruiting speech in the office, has heard the same, speech about how we're going to do things or run practice or whatever. There's no skipping the process or the time of it.
There's not. And you nailed it. I have a glimpse of what you're talking about with my 8th period. It's when our freshmen come in, and it's just them by themselves with me and my 2 assistant coaches. And we're basically mirroring what we're doing in the morning with the older players, the sophomores, the JV and varsity. But then it's interesting watching both groups take the same ideas and the same drills and try to implement the same culture, but these guys are so new and fresh with nothing to compare it to, that there's an extra level of buy-in, and maybe they're just their youth, that they're just eating it up. And so it's kind of like it's good for me to see that every day, because I mean that, just think of 2 or 3 years or 4 years of groups like that. And but it's like I have to remember that, yeah, that's how it was at Faith, that it took 4 or 5 years for everybody to feel like this is our program, including myself. But just all these reminders that I gotta keep telling myself and not to get frustrated. Let me ask you a question. How do you keep from going too fast where you are, from pushing past where maybe you should stay for a little bit longer?
I don't even know if it answers the question, but my big thing is like almost always working on like the same basic stuff. Shoot, I don't remember who it was, but it was a football coach. I was watching the interview and he said something about how everybody talks about after the big loss. They talk about like, well, we just got to get back to the basics this week. We got to get back to the basics. And he's like, you hear that all the time. If the basics are so great, then why do people ever leave them? Like, why don't you just stay with it forever? And so like for us, I'm trying to not go too fast by just consistently preaching the same thing all the time. And like, so like culture of like, our timeliness and how we communicate with each other and stuff like that, of just not wavering at all in how I, like enforce that type of stuff. And then basketball wise, we try to kind of introduce what we're going to do and then just work on it day after day after day and just kind of never leave it. Obviously, we got to leave it and teach new stuff, but for the majority of our practices, they kind of look the exact same. I had a moment at the end of one of our practices the other day. I heard somebody ask one of my assistants, like, when are we going to like get up and down? Like, when are we going to like scrimmage or something like that? And I was just like, man, we're weeks away from that. And also, just so you guys know, I hope you guys don't think there's some magical day coming where it's like, hey, we're not going to do these breakdown drills anymore. We're just going to play 5-on-5 the whole time. This will be the rest of the year. And if you stay here for 4 years, this will be for 4 years. We will be doing this stuff. Like, so if you don't like it, like, hey, like, that's get right or get left.
Not for everyone.
Yeah, like,
you're not for everyone. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how I've tried to not go too fast. It's just like continuing to preach the same stuff, the simple stuff, I guess, the simple stuff every day, like all the time, I think.
Does answer it. No, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. That's helpful for sure.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.